Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. And I hope those of you who are mothers had a wonderful Mother's Day. Hey, Maria. Hey, Clifford. Happy Monday or Tuesday if it's already Tuesday for you. It was a little Monday madness for me today because we had some changes for a lot of us at my company. And so today was the first day we were kind of dealing with some of those changes. And it was a little bumpy ride for part of the day, just, getting our work. That part wasn't fun. But it, turned out to be an okay day, but it started off kind of crazy. I'm doing good. This week, hopefully, I will get some good news. Hi, Edward. How are you? Thank you for coming. This week, hopefully, I will get some news. They're supposed to be doing a virtual meeting, a virtual town hall, rather, for my son's services that he gets to find out. I guess so we'll find out what's going to happen with them. What's the plan on getting him back in his program so that, he can hopefully get, things to a point where he's able to get a part-time job. Hey, Sarah. So they're supposed to be having a virtual meeting, like through Zoom on Thursday. So I'm supposed to listen to that on Thursday. And hopefully that'll be good for him. Because he is like losing his mind around here, y'all. And he's losing his mind. I mean, he video calls everyone, though. Everybody gets video called. How many of you guys are doing more video calling than just listening to people's voices now? How many of y'all are doing more of, I want to see you when I'm talking to you? I'm doing video calls like with my dad, my aunt, and family in other parts of the country, so that I can see them. And in a normal time, we wouldn't necessarily do that all the time. But now, a lot of us are doing that a lot. A lot of us are doing that a lot. Hey, Sunset, how are you? Oh, you don't do video calls? Zero? Yeah, I mean, when you do the video calls, the person on the other end has the option of, I think you can do video calls where you can just talk to them. Whereas, you can see them if they choose to have it. Because I know they do it like that on both the FaceTime for iPhones and on the Google Duo. You can do a video call, but make it a voice call. You just have the option. Yeah, I mean, I FaceTime with my dad, and he called me this weekend, to wish me a happy Mother's Day, which I thought was really sweet. He does that for both of his daughters. I thought that was really sweet for him to do that. But he gave me some really good news, y'all. The good news is, for those y'all who don't know, my dad is an essential worker. He's a doctor. But the good news is that he is no longer going to Washington, D.C. and working at the VA hospital in D.C. He is only doing his regular job in West Virginia. But the bad news is that because West Virginia has had such a low amount of cases, they're opening back up the state of West Virginia. And my dad is like, he thinks that when they do that, it's going to spike it's going to make, that the cases go up, because a lot of people are not doing the social distancing. Like, to heck with that. Hey, Tutu Thing Thing. Hey, Tatted Hearts. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, they opened up a little bit, in my county. I did see florists open yesterday, and they were getting brisk business. I'm happy to say, I got flowers from my son via his dad, because, I know his dad bought them and, gave them to him, but whatever. Still, he bought them for my son to give to me. Yeah. And then, you guys, on Saturday was my cousin who lost his mom, his birthday. So he lost his mom on Friday. His birthday was on Saturday. And then Mother's Day was on Sunday. So my sister texted me his number. So I'm going to call him. She texted it to me, late today. But I'm going to call him tomorrow and check on him. Yeah. And his name, this is my cousin whose name happens to be the same name as my son. He has the same name. His name is David as well. So there's a few Davids in my family. But yeah, this is one of my first cousins. So I'm gonna call him tomorrow. Just check on him. I mean, just make sure he's okay. It's not like he's a kid or anything. He's 50, but still, he's an only child. So his siblings are like, his first cousins. We're basically the siblings that he doesn't have. And then, of course, he has a lot of kids, y'all. I mean, he has a lot of kids, y'all. It's somewhere north of 5, and I think it might be below 10, but he has a lot of kids. Yep. Not the same mom, so I only know some of them. I know one of his oldest, and she's the one who I know is right there, watching out for her dad and everything. So I'm gonna call his daughter too. Yeah, things, like I said, things are opening back up a little bit here. Like for, we've got the florists that open back up. They said the bookstores and, music stores are open back up. But I don't know the last time I went to a music store. And the only music store that I'd like to go to is Amoeba. And they're not open. They don't know when they're going to open back up. So, and just so you guys know, Amoeba Music is like this music store that still sells records, and you can find like hard to find music there. And they've been around for like a long time in the Los Angeles area. And they were considered a historic landmark, which is why the store, when they had to move, they tore down the building that they're originally in. They just literally moved the store to another building. But they're not opening up yet. So, and I like going to the bookstores, but I'm not going to the bookstore to the curb to get my book, because I like to browse around, figure out what I want. I'm that kind of book person, I like to find new things. How can you find new things at the curb? It means you have to browse through online, and sometimes the blurbs about books online are not as good as the back of the book or the inside, side note in the book. Well, the Starbucks, they're still only open for drive-through. They're only open for drive-through still. But some places, the restaurants have just opened on up. They're like, to hell with this. We're opening up. In certain parts, I know that's happening in certain parts of California, and I know that's happening in other states. But did you guys hear about this town in Texas that has a very low percentage of people that have it, and they have roadblocks so that nobody else can come into their town because they don't want them to bring anybody. They don't want them to bring it into their city. It's a town in Texas. I don't know the name of it, but yeah, I heard about that. There's a town in Texas that has roadblocks up to keep other people out. That's true, Tutu Thing. That's exactly the case. When I was talking to my dad, what my dad said, and keep in mind, this is, obviously someone who's on the front lines. So he said that he feels that, what's going to happen is that more people are going to get it. A lot more people are going to die. And the people who, whose immune systems can fight it off will fight it off, and they'll be fine. And it's, that's what's going to happen. Because people, it's funny to me that, people would rather risk their health than stay home and try to be safe. And then you now have cases of people who did do the social distancing, who did do everything that they were supposed to do, and they still got it. That's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So, there's really not a right answer for it. Because the vast majority of people, even if there was some type of, inoculation for this, would not get it. And then, what? That might be true, because supposedly we're getting ready to go into an Arctic vortex in May. The temperature's supposed to drop like across the country. In some places, it's going to drop down to the 30s. And they're saying that, some places their record lows are going to get broken this month. So yeah, the weather's getting warm. The weather's getting warm now, guys. And then if it goes cold, then, some people are going to get sick, or their immune systems are going to, get caught off guard. So that's why I tell people, keep taking your vitamins, doing everything that you need to do. Please go outside and at least get some sunlight. Do not become vitamin D deficient by, holed up in the house. The second wave, I think, by June, New York governor says, yeah, I think there's going to be another wave. I think that they were trying to push it off to, like, I hate to say this, I think the way that our that 45 was trying to do it. He's trying to push it off so that the second wave could be pushed out until maybe after the election. Telling you, y'all, I think that the man thinks deviously, because I don't think he gives a damn about American citizens' health. It's just what I think. Yeah, well, I mean, but people wearing shorts and in flip-flops already in most of the country because it's been warm. So then it suddenly goes cold. They're not going to be ready for that. And that means there's going to be more people who weren't sick. They're going to get sick. And then you'll have another wave. And that would throw out the entire theory of warm weather killing it. Because the weather's going up and down. You can't depend on the weather. You can't depend on the weather to do what you want because, we keep messing with the atmosphere. We keep putting satellites up into the atmosphere. We've messed with the ozone. That's one of the things that came better with people staying home doing this, is that it cleaned up some of the air. But, we'll mess back up again. Have no fear. We human beings will do it again. But I stand by my previous thoughts is that this is selective. They're doing a selection. It's by selection. It's battle of the fittest. Battle of the fittest in this. Because although there have been a lot of people who have succumbed to this, and I have an aunt who succumbed to this. So far, the majority of the people who have succumbed to this, unfortunately, had underlying conditions. And we lost 2 people over the weekend, in the 2 days I wasn't on. We lost Little Richard, and we lost Betty Wright. Two music legends. Little Richard, I mean, he's rightfully, his claim to being the king of rock and roll, he was rightfully in it. Yeah, he was arrogant about it, but he was telling the truth. They did steal that from him. And he carried it until, he left here. And then you had Betty Wright. She wasn't even that old. She was 66. She hadn't made her 67th birthday. Y'all remember Betty Wright? Exactly, Tutu Thing. Hey, Magnum. Tatted heart, she's so funny. But yeah, my dad, and I take what he's saying because he's on the front lines. Although they don't have a lot of cases in the state that he's in, he did go up to, against my better judgment, but hey, he's a grown man. He did do a couple of weekends up at VA, and he said it's not good in DC. That's what my dad said. And then I have an aunt in DC who is now deceased. But it's gonna be survival of the fittest. That's why I keep telling people. And it doesn't, to me, having an underlying condition is really not a key, as much of a key. There are a lot. If you have asthma, that's an underlying condition. But most people with asthma, are obviously going to be taking all the precautions to make sure that they don't get themselves into any types of situations. But asthma, even if you have a mild case of asthma, that's considered an underlying condition. We're not even talking about what people consider serious health conditions being considered underlying conditions. And now you have all these kids, all these children getting what they're calling the Kawasaki flu, but they're saying that it's related to this. And they're like, their little limbs are inflamed. You can see the little swollen hands and feet on these children. It's horrible. And they're just now figuring out that this may be what happens, in kids, if they, because for the most part, they were thinking that, children, if they get this, it's going to be mild. They're not going to get, the worst case. But now they're finding that this is what'll happen if the kids get the worst case. They get this other thing. Man, somebody needs to get whoever let this loose into the population, accidentally or on purpose.
No good.
I'm telling y'all, that's right. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. Y'all remember that song? And it's shoot, Betty Wright could hit that note. She could hit that Minnie Riperton note. She could hit that Minnie Riperton note. She hit it in that song. Yeah. She hit it. She would hit it in her song. But yeah. Hey, Faith. How are you? Thank you for coming through. I really like your channel. I just say at this point, things are going to start to open back up as they are. Hopefully people will be able to get back to work. But, they're predicting that the unemployment rate in the country is going to hit 20%. And that will be as bad as the Depression. So now they're talking about, again, maybe they may give out another $1,200. However, 45 wants them to really think about what they're doing, when they come out, if they come out with a second package. But I think they're going to have to do something, because even though the country's going to start opening back up, it's still going to take time for things to get back to business with the new norm. Because I don't think that any business is going to go back to the way it was before. And even if they're able to go back to the way that it was before, it's going to be a very long time before they're going to be able to do that. A lot of offices are going to have to reconfigure the way that they have their floor plans in order for, people to be able to do their work. and for them to have some type of social distancing so that, you know, when this thing comes back around, that we won't, it won't be so easy for it to do this community spreading, because that's the way it's going to happen, because it's here. See, it doesn't have to fly over here from another country anymore. It's here, floating around the population. And it's doing the same thing in every other country on the planet. So, you know, from this point on, you know, every country's got to deal with it the way they're going to deal with it, because we're all going to have to deal with it again, because it's now in our countries. You know, we can't eradicate it because it's here. So, you know, and that, I mean, and that's not just, you know, that's just speaking reality, you know, but I look at it as the way that they're trying to slowly open the country. And y'all know I keep saying this, but why won't they allow certain things, you know, like the churches and the synagogues and the mosques and the fellowship halls and anybody who has some type of, you know, wish to congregate, you know, to praise whoever their higher power is. You know, because I know, like, at least here in California, you've got in certain parts of the state where you've got pastors who are asking to be allowed to do this. Obviously, they want to have social distancing, and they're not going to have like full on services with, you know, packed houses. But you know, you've got to allow people to gradually be able to have that part of their life, because for a lot of us, going to church or going to temple or going to mosque is a normal part of life, you know, and it's not just something that we wear as a dressing, you know, it's part of our relationship with our higher power. Oh yeah, nobody can cough, nobody can sneeze. Stay healthy, everybody. Stay healthy, completely healthy. Stay healthy, everybody. You know, I went to the cell phone store today, you know, to pay my bill. Was hardly anybody in there. Because sadly, y'all, my cell phone company is combining with another cell phone company. Yeah. So I guess I don't know if it's going to be called T-Mobile, if it's going to be called Sprint T-Mobile. Who knows what it's going to be called? But the two companies have won the right to be one. So I went to the store. There was hardly anyone in there. But as I was in there, you know, waiting my turn, I heard a gentleman who I guess he needed to get something done with his phone, and they were telling him that they couldn't do it in the store, that he would have to, you know, they would have to mail him out the phone and stuff because of what's going on right now. It was, whew, is it a good time to get a new phone? I guess not. The unemployment rate is much higher. There's no way 80% of the people have jobs. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. But they're saying it's going to hit at least 20%. But you got to think about it. Some people, they're not counting people who don't even qualify for unemployment insurance. They're not counted in that 20%. They're only counting the ones who actually file for unemployment. That's how they calculate the unemployment rate, not by the actual amount of people who are unemployed. So you're right. It probably is more than 20. Probably is going to hit more than 20%. You know, but I think that a lot of positions that can be done from home, they're going to make them remote positions. I think there's going to be a lot more people working remotely for companies. So that'll be great for all the internet providers, because everybody's going to have great internet service at home. When you got at least 2 people in a household working from home, I think that's going to happen for a lot of people. I think a lot of people that are now temporarily working at home may be permanently working from home, or working from home a lot, and going into the office less. But that's only for like the industries that can do that. Obviously, the industries that are considered the essential ones right now, yeah, that's probably not ones that it'll be like that. And I mean, there's a lot of industries that people have to be in the actual brick and mortar in order to make sales, because I'm sure that the car dealerships are going to take a huge hit, even though people will be able to do this online. But everybody can't do the online and do all their financing that way, so it's going to be challenging. And then clothing stores, a lot of people like to try stuff on. They don't want to look at it in the window or look at it online and then come pick it up. But I do think that where they can make it remote, they're going to make them remote. I do think that some of the school districts are also going to take into consideration how they can make some of the classwork remote as well, so that they don't have to have as many students crowded in the classrooms. I think that's going to be another thing that's going to also happen, because I mean, the reality is that even though we have some people out here who are not doing social distancing, as the states are opening up, or as whatever part of the world they're in is opening up, the vast majority of us don't want to catch nothing, and we are doing the social distancing because we value our health. And everyone is starting to get touched by this. Someone in their family. I mean, up until Friday, it had no one in my family, and now someone in my family. And I think that it's going to be more of us that are going to be affected by it in some way. Yeah, there are a lot of people making masks for money. There are people making those masks for money around the world, y'all. People are making masks around the world because they know this is not going to go, that this is going to be around for a while. And masks are becoming people's fashion statement. I mean, like yesterday, when I did have to go out for a minute, but I did my eyes. That was it. Because that's all anybody was going to see. So I had on eye makeup. I didn't have on any lipstick, because what am I going to put a lipstick on for if I'm going to just put a mask on? I don't think so. But yeah, that's basically what we're seeing, is people's eyes. But the eyes can tell you a lot when you look into people's eyes. They can tell you a lot. But people, yeah, a lot of people are doing that. I've seen so many YouTube creators that have done it. Ones who might be on channels that they were already doing sewing, and ones who weren't doing sewing. All kinds of YouTubers have them out there. And then if you go out on Amazon, man, a million different sites selling them around the world with anything you want on a mask. Anything you want. You can get a sports team on a mask. You can get a mask, this all bedazzled. Oh, yeah. And they're selling them for crazy prices. I'm telling you. When I was doing cleaning over the weekend, as I was cleaning, I found a box of masks. I already had bought. I don't know when I bought them. I bought them. Found a whole box of them. I had bought. And this is on top of the box that I just went out and bought when this thing first started. Found a whole nother box that I think I paid $5 for. Oh, thank you, Tutu Thing Thing. I think people want things to go back to the way that they were, but I do not think that it will ever be like it was. I don't think that we will be able to go to concerts and to plays and to sporting events in the same manner that we have. I just don't think it's going to happen anytime in the near future. I mean, but I do see that they're planning to start basketball later this summer. They're planning on starting the football season a little later than normal, but they're going to do it. And I understand. I understand. They feel that things like that will be part of helping to bring our country, back to some new sense of normalcy, because it's not going to be the same. And I believe that one of the Disneylands has opened up in another country, and they are allowing like 30% capacity to go into the park. So it'll be very interesting when they do open up the amusement parks here, and y'all know they're going to open them back up. It's summer almost here. That's when most of them outside of, states like California and Florida make most of their money. But I don't know how easy it's going to be for them to open back up. I don't know how easy it's going to be for them to open back up, but they opened up one of the Disneylands in another country. I can't remember which country it's in. I don't know if it was in Japan. It might have been in Japan. So, I mean, I see, that we're moving towards certain things. I just pray that people use wisdom. But of course, I know that there's many of us that if we didn't have a job or money coming in, we'd be homeless. So I do understand that part. I do understand that part. And, although in some states, we've got the lenders being, trying to help or, giving people time. And some landlords, some places giving people time, but that's not across the board. That's not across the board. So there's many people who are in fear of, being able to sustain their households because they may have had 2 or 3 incomes coming into the house. Now they only have one, or now they have none, but they have unemployment. And depending on what state you're in, unemployment may not be enough. It just may not be enough. And no one should have to choose between keeping a roof over their head or putting food on the table. No one should have to decide, whether they keep the lights on, whether they can keep water, the water going, gas on the stove. But for many people, that's the reality right now because of what's going on. So I do understand, the push we're getting from people to open back up because they don't know how much longer they can, I guess, survive financially. Yeah, that's the thing. There are people who only go out if they have to. But you've got people that if they're not working, they can't eat. They don't have no health insurance. So now they can't afford to get sick. It's even though, quote unquote, in the state of California, you're supposed to have health insurance. I know that everybody doesn't have health insurance because if you can't pay for health insurance because you don't have a job, how can you actually keep health insurance? Yeah, I've been seeing people getting they've been giving boxes of food at places here too, but the lines are like crazy because there's so many people that need it. And they're just not able to keep enough food. And sadly, my church, under normal circumstances, there are a lot of churches that have the food pantries that they open up to the community. But because many of them are closed right now, there's less resources. Because my church happened to be one of the ones that was on the list, but they're closed right now. Oh, that's great that they're delivering it to the people's door, Sunset. That's really good. Yeah, because, you know, a lot of people may not have the transportation, first of all, to go get in those lines, because a lot of the places, at least out here, are drive-through. So, you know, then they have to get someone who has a car to go get the food for them, or to go with them to get the food. That's really good that they're doing that. They're doing that in New York. That's good. Which they would do that. Well, I mean, they're doing some of that in California, and I'm not going to say they're not. They are doing some of that, but I think they're focusing more on seniors, which is good. Yeah, I think they're focusing more on seniors here. Fresh direct in boxes. Oh, that's not cool, Sunset. That's not cool at all. If one group has to wait in line, everybody should have to wait in line. Yeah, that's not being fair. Yeah, that's not being fair at all, because everybody should have it delivered. They should be delivering it to everyone who's in need, and not make any of them stand in line. Yeah, they shouldn't even do that. That's not right at all. Is that in New York? Is that in the city? I wouldn't be surprised, though. There's so much undercurrents. And all it does, they do that stuff, and it really just ends up pitting, you know, black and brown against each other, you know, for services and stuff. And it shouldn't even be that way. Oh, well, okay. No, that's not good. I didn't know that was you, Sunday. I thought it might be you since it says sunset, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. No, that's not even cool. See, you know, why do they always get the shady mayors in New York that allow that kind of crap to go on? So blatant. But, you know, I mean, I'll say, even though I don't live in Los Angeles, I will say that the mayor in Los Angeles does try to accommodate for the Latino population. You know, he makes sure that everything is translated to Spanish so that there's no disconnect, since, you know, they're the second largest group in Los Angeles, you know, and many don't speak English. But when it comes to getting things, I'll say out here, from what I've seen, they don't have any shame about asking for stuff if they need it. And there are many people, many of our people are too prideful. And so they miss out. And that's why they get everything. Now, I'll tell you, in looking at the services at the regional centers, where my son goes for, just getting services for disabled people. Yeah, there is a bigger push. They get a lot of things, and many times because our people don't know who to ask or don't know what to ask, they get left behind. Whereas they tell other people, that's why I always try to give people everything that I know about, about IEPs, about getting your kid evaluated, all of that stuff, because I had to figure everything out myself. And I don't want other parents to have to figure things out themselves when it comes to dealing with children that have this neurodiversity. But it's the same thing when it comes to the general population. We don't tend to ask about things or find out about things, because if somebody knows about it, they don't tell somebody else. Whereas in other cultures, they culturally are going to give the information to everybody so everybody can benefit. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, so they're trying to pit them against each other. That sucks. That sucks. I don't know. I don't even see what the point of that is. Because in the end, it's not going to work. Especially in a situation such as what we're in currently. Because we know that we are the two communities that they don't give a damn about. For the most part, they don't care if we live or die. And unfortunately, because many of our people fall in lower socioeconomic situations, we don't always have the best health care or the best diets. So it would be nice if they would be, sharing the wealth equally between the two communities, instead of pitting one against the other for the same freaking services. It does cause animosity. And hopefully the people are smart enough to know that that's what's going on. But what I'm saying, Sunday, is that if they're giving the stuff to the Hispanic neighborhoods, but they're not making it available for the Black neighborhoods, they still class-wise, they still look at us the same, unfortunately. But what they're doing is that they're pitting the two groups against each other. Two groups who are basically on the same social playing field. Yeah, because they're getting all the services. They're getting all the services. They're either figuring out what the loopholes are in the rules, or they're playing by the rules. And many times we don't want to play by the rules. And then we get mad and saying we're being discriminated against. But it sounds like in this situation, they're purposely discriminating. It sounds like they're purposely doing it. That's sad, though. I mean, I'm in Cali, so, and I do not live. I live in a diverse community, but there's a lot of Latinos. They're not all Mexican though, but there's a lot of Latinos in the community that I'm in. I mean, there's other people who are of Cuban descent, like part of my family, and some that are of South American. And the interesting thing is that within the Hispanic community, they don't mix with other, like Mexicans don't mix with Nicaraguans, etc. They get into their own, cultural cliques too. Because I have some friends that are El Salvadorian, and they will kick your butt if you mistake them for being from Mexico. I promise you, they will. Yeah. Well, all the Latinos in my family are black. They're still black. They just live on a Spanish, they just are from a Spanish island. They just got enslaved by Spain instead of by Great Britain. That's it. So I figure they dropped half my, part of my ancestors off in the islands, and part of my ancestors got dropped off in North America. It is what it is. But they all black. I'm sure it'll be very interesting when I do a DNA. I'm sure I will find that I have, roots in, Cuba as I know, but I doubt that there's any European blood flowing through there, unless it's the Irish who were the bosses on the plantations. I'm just saying, in my family, I doubt that very, very seriously, because the Cuban part of my family is dark, dark, dark. So I don't even think. I think they probably are more African. Yeah. Now the part of my family that is on this continent, well, it is what it is. I know we don't have Irish last names, for nothing. Hey, Darren. You know what, Darren? I think I wrote down your email address wrong. Is your email address on your in your about section on your page? Yeah, I know I have Irish in my family. I have white cousins who are Irish. I mean, Irish American, but they're Irish. It is what it is. Doesn't change the fact that I'm black. And it doesn't change the fact that the Cuban part of my family is also still black. They ain't light skinned. They blue black. At least the ones that came over here from Cuba were. Okay. Okay, I got it. You know what I found out, guys? So I know we're at the end, but I'm gonna tell y'all this before I get off of here. I found out, I thought that I had to wait until I got monetized before I, started my Teespring store, but I found out that I don't have to. That I can go ahead and do it, and start to put merchandise together and everything. So I'm gonna be starting to work on merch because I'm watching a lot of people. People are getting monetized. I'm getting there, y'all. Hopefully by the end of this week, I'll be like around 2,500, between 2,500 and 3,000 watch hours. That's where I'm trying to get by the end of this week. So on my other channel, on my other YouTube channel, I've been watching all of my live streams. And I'm still, I have like 100, almost 180 live streams. Yeah, I'm like at 40 something. And I've been running it all weekend, and I'm still just in the 40s. So it's probably gonna be running all week. So I'm figuring after I finish running it, that should get me closer, because I'm trying to grind these hours out. I'm trying to grind them out, y'all. Thank you, Sunset. They are my all of my live streams. After I do my live streams, I immediately put them into my live stream playlist, and my vlogs are immediately put into my vlog playlist. The live stream playlist is the longest one, and that's the one that give me hours. And I am not kidding when I tell you that it'll probably take you about, maybe 4 or 5 days to run it. I'm being honest. But I would appreciate anyone who will run my playlist. It's my vlogs and live streams. I would appreciate anyone who will run those for me. I really would. Because I'm grinding them out, y'all. And there are people who have like thousands of, or 300, I'll say hundreds of views on their videos. But that's because there's drama. And if I have to do drama to get hundreds of views on my videos, then yeah, that's not what I'm going to do. I know that eventually I will get more, views as I do get better and better and at what I'm doing. I know I will. So I'm not even worried about that. And I'll get them organic, and I'll get people who are going to stay versus people who are just coming in for the foolishness. Okay, that's so good. I'm gonna keep you in my prayer closet, Sunset. Thank you. Appreciate it. But Darren, I will say more about this when I email you, but definitely I want to kind of incorporate, since I drink coffee and you have a microbrewery, I'm thinking about that when I do like my coffee time sometimes, that once I get a hold of some of your coffee, that I'll be, talking about your coffee, tell people about your coffee, doing like my coffee time live streams when I do those in the mornings. So that's what I was thinking about for that, because I incorporated a little coffee cup in there. And yeah, you could have either tea, because I drink either tea or coffee, but I incorporated it into my live streams because I'm always drinking it. And when I look back at the live streams that I have, and even at my vlogs, a lot of times I'm drinking either some coffee or some tea out of a purple cup. So that's why I put that as part of that. But I'm really going to be working on getting some designs for some t-shirts and some coffee mugs. Because my understanding with the Teespring shops is that you can put them together and you don't have to put any upfront money into it. They kind of do everything for you and they get a split. Hi, Jessica. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to get off, so I'm going to come on the screen so y'all can see me because y'all know I did my hair. We don't have the Pocahontas braids. No, sit down by mommy. Sit down by mom so they can see you. Don't just wave anything. Come on and sit down so they can see you. Say hi. David, say hi. Say hi, YouTube.
YouTube.
Say how are y'all? Okay. All right. He just want to say hi to y'all. So y'all see, I put my hair in single ease twists. I haven't cut them yet. So that's why they're up on top of my head. But they're purple. They are purple. Yeah, that's David. That's my son. If you are new to my channel, that's my son. And he is an adult with autism. So he likes to come on here when I say hi to y'all at the end. But I will be back on tomorrow, y'all. I will be back tomorrow. I took a couple of days off, Mother's Day weekend, kind of chilled. I was kind of, watching other people do their thing this weekend. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, it took me a few hours to finish them, but I did. I finished them Saturday, so I was not doing my hair on Sunday. Your cousin has autism? Yeah. My son is 24. He's almost 25. I will see y'all tomorrow, though. But before I go, I want to offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I will see you guys tomorrow. I may come on in the morning. I don't know. It depends on how my work day goes. If it's like today, I won't come on in the morning. If it goes better than today, I will come on in the morning and maybe have some coffee with y'all. All right. I'll see y'all then. Bye, everyone.